Whoa! I didn't know there was gonna be a sideburn convention in town.
Oh my god, it's a red car!
Whoa!
Let's go get it!
Oh no, gotta get out of here. Hello there. Welcome to Geek Central Station, where the awesome just keeps on chugging. My name is John, and today is another exciting Retro Monday. This time featuring the jealous brother of Optimus Prime. It's Magnus from the Robots in Disguise television show from 2001. Now, I've had this guy since I was a kid, and as you can tell, he's missing some tires, because for some reason, I was just taking tires off my r.i.d. figures. Managed to find all of them for Optimus, but still looking for his. If any of you have some extras, let me know. That'd be awesome. I've also replaced a leg for his because where one of the clips are, it broke. But now he's in way better condition than he was before, and he's awesome. So let me tell you about Ultra Magnus, because this one's a little bit different than the other ones you're probably used to. This one is a brother of Optimus Prime, like I said, but he's kind of irritated at his brother. See, Ultra Magnus here is the runner-up to the Matrix. He didn't get it. He's pretty mad about it. So mad that he managed to track Optimus back to Earth, beat the living crap out of his car brothers, Autobots, and then proceeded to beat the living crap out of Optimus, which just messed up the whole mission for that episode. Eventually, they mended fences, not completely, and Ultra Magnus would on occasion help them out, and then, again on occasion, combine with them to make Omega Prime, which is basically Optimus wearing Ultra Magnus like a big giant suit of armor. This is actually kind of hilarious. It's a really cool mode, though. I think it's done pretty well. But that is another video for another time. Now, this is his car carrier mode, and like you'd expect, you'd want it to carry some cars, and it actually does. Let me just open some parts here. It can hold the original cars from the show that it was built for. It can hold some classics, mid-movie cars, when the supports are up, and it can also hold your new cars, and this is Hotshot right here. It just goes right in there. You lower this. Let me go ahead and get a better angle on that. Put this top part on the pegs right there so it has some support. I can close that up. There's a hole. You can't see it from here. There's a hole right there. The pegs right into there. Come on. There we go. So I can hold pretty much all of the deluxes made from 2000 to now. And I'm sure it can hold some G1 cars. So if you're looking for a definitive car carrier and you like Ultra Magnus, this is definitely the one for you. I enjoy this a lot. And you can take them out. Right there. You could also lower that and have them fall back. Whoa! Ha! So he's, let me put those up, about 2.5 deluxes long. That's pretty cool. He is a pretty big truck. And unlike my other figures, I actually have the battery still in this guy. This is what he sounds like for vehicle mode. Very cool. There's a red button right in here that I'll show when I transform him. Pretty cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. Just go ahead and get these guys out of the way. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do, you can just go ahead and unpeg those back there. Flip the panel forward until it clicks right in front here. There. and then you take these side panels right here and you pull them off. Don't pull the white part off because that's part of the arm. They connect via these two pegs into this one right here on this blue part, and then this last white one right here. And do the same thing for the other side. Okay. And you have the leg part right here. You're just going to fold the gates down, make his kneecaps, fold those blue peg thingies to that side, and then rotate on this big old hinge to the back here. And this peg was pegged into the same hole on the other side. Just go ahead and peg it back in, and then bring this up to where this pegs on that second one, so you have the Autobot symbols on the outside. Just do that. And I apologize for some things being off screen. This is a huge figure, and I have this zoomed all the way out. And you have these leg connectors, which have the knees. You just rotate the knee, basically. Might take a little bit to grab it, just because it's a strong ratchet joint. Get your thumb or finger under there, right there. And you just pull these apart, or just slide them off of the pegs. Because this peg right here, slide it off that way, and then that peg, slide it off that way. On my original one, I forget which leg it was, but it had broke right here, which made it hard for him to stand up. There you go, you have the legs all done. Well, let's focus on the cab right here. You can just take this part right here. Look at that chrome. This is some nice chrome. Fold that up in front of the windshield. Just leave that right there. And these parts will connect to the legs. You'll just want to wait and do that. Or, there you go. Just pull that. It was connected via these pegs. These peg holes that have the screws in them. And these red ones right there. And that way you can just stick your thumb or finger into the socket and just rotate it on the ratchet to where it is facing to the front of the cab. And we'll worry about putting the legs on later. And you can go ahead and disconnect the arms from the blue part, and then disconnect them from themselves, and just rotate them to the side. Rotate these shoulder blades up, and then you turn the elbows this way. Just turn the whole forearm like this. So now this panel, instead of being on the inside, like how it is here, it's on the outside. So that the tires are not facing forward, the tires are facing backward. And then the big issue is this part right here. What you're going to want to do is lift this gray part up. See that little white part, it just pulls straight from there. You're going to want to disconnect these, and then these just kind of turn one over top of the other. No, they just go like that. Am I thinking about the other mode? No! Oh, no. Okay, now I got it. Yeah, you're supposed to do that so you can get this turned back around here, and then you can put it back to where it locks into those grooves right there. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough clearance. That's what it was. And you pull this down, you pull these little pecs up here, and you bring this down. Now, when I was a kid, I just couldn't figure out that turned for some reason. I have no idea why. I guess it's maybe not obvious, but you turn that around, and my hand was there the entire time. Just flip that around. There's a little slot here. There's a little peg right there. Make sure it's level. Just peg it together. I need to move some things to just get it all lined up. Get the hands rotated forward so the thumbs are front and center. And then you can just go ahead and put the legs on one at a time. And the way they connect is via a ratchet joint. So they can rotate at that joint. So he has some thigh swivel, which is actually pretty cool. Didn't know if any of you were expecting thigh swivel on this guy. Alright, so there you go. And this is the big guy, Ultra Magnus. This guy is pretty tall. It is pretty awesome. Let me go ahead and back the camera up. There we go. Let's go ahead and compare this guy with some other Ultra Magnuses. That is, whoa, very back heavy. Very back heavy this guy is. Might want to rotate. Nope. There's no ratchet joints right there. It's just the ratchet joints the other way, which is unfortunate for wanting to make sure he doesn't fall backwards. Let's have X-Graver hold him up. And there's another Ultra Magnus. That one is the Arms Micron one I've been building. You'll see the review on Thursday. And then this is the newer Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus. There we go. Just see the size comparison there. This guy is huge. He is mostly leg, as you can see. It is insane how much leg that guy is. It is insane. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this guy. Got that face like they all have. I think the all about symbols in his crest right there. It's just hard to see because it's not painted. Zooming in instead of out. And he's got posable hands. All the digits are on one little joint, and his thumb is on another joint. So he can give you all a thumbs up or a thumbs down. There we go. And he's got shoulders. Let me go ahead and move these other guys out of the way before things start falling and breaking. You guys can tell this guy is huge. 360-degree shoulders. They're kind of tight. I guess a double shoulder because he's got the swivel here and then the ball joint right there, which is kind of limited because of the plastic molded around it. And then he's got a ball jointed elbow as well. And then, as you saw, swivel wrist, but it's also on a ball joint, but it can only do this. And then back, and then twist around. There's not much other posability in that. And then in the legs, no ratchet right there, but there's the ratchet going out that way. There's no reason to have an A stance for this guy, though. Like I said before, thigh swivel. You can make it rotate out, so be aware of that. And then the knee, big giant knee. That thigh to shin ratio is way off. But it is still a pretty cool figure nonetheless. And then his head is on a ball joint. Forgot to mention that. Doing a lot of zooming in and out for this guy. He's mega huge. I forget what the size class was for this guy. He's got a ball joint toward the back of his neck. I don't know if that makes for awkwardness for posing and whatnot, but still pretty cool. Then these can move. And let me go ahead and show you his gun. Now this gun is meant to go into the pegs that are on the shoulders here. Or rather, in the armpits. This one has the rounded holes, and then that one right there has square holes. When you put just one in, and it presses the button that's in there, and then you go ahead and press the red button that is right here. And it makes... Sorry about that, my batteries just died. Anyway, like I was saying, you plug in the guns on either side. When you press one of the buttons and then press the back button, creates a firing sound. Press this one over here. Machine gun sound. When you press both of them together, it creates a bigger sound. But again, you can just have the plug into those ports right there. And then you can have him peg his wrist right there. A little peg right here, a little hole here in the arm. There's like 4 different holes, but it's gonna be this one. And these are supposed to act as like handles. And then he's got like a firing thing, but that ends up being way taller than him. Like his whole gun arrangement thing. It's pretty cool. I don't use it much because I have a hard time trying to get it to go anywhere on the vehicle mode. That's why I didn't show it, because and none of the pegs end up going right anywhere. But it can be in this configuration, or make it out to be longer. And it plugs like, whoa, and it plugs in right here. And you can have right there, and you can just have him holding like a big rifle and firing. It could still be one-handed. And it's a pretty cool gun. When I was a kid, I used to pretend it was a drone. Lots of fun with that. And okay, let's go ahead and transform him back into vehicle mode. There's a few things I want to point out there. A little difficult going from the robot to the vehicle. I guess you can just go ahead and pop off the legs. Pop off very easily. And let's go ahead and focus on here. Just pull that down. Throw these back in. Turn this around. You can either leave it like that for vehicle mode, or you can leave it up so that it fills a gap on top when it's in truck. It's really your preference. It fits either way. And then you can go ahead and turn these back in, so those holes are facing inward. Huh. I meant to turn. No, it's not. Just be careful when you're transforming this. You got an old one, this little hinge part right here. You just got a pin, and then it's connected. Can't really tell. I think maybe by a plastic clip here for the wiring, I guess. Just gonna want to be careful with all of that stuff. So used to manhandling the newer figures. And then you can go ahead and leave that down. Bring this chrome part and then plug each side. There's one here and one on the other side, and you just plug those sides together. And then while you have the arms out of the way, you can take this part, slide one over it, have it like that, and then fold it back, and then just bring those back, make sure they're down, and have these two sides go back in each other to lock them back straight. We're almost there. I'll show you that way. Just go ahead and bring that up now so it's in that position. Bring this up. Yeah, it doesn't fold that. Bring that up. Bring these up right here. Unpeg them from those blue things. Alright. Rotate these that way, so the part that was facing front is now going to be facing back. And turn these so the wheels are facing down again. Oh dear. Sometimes the hands like to break off. Or the fingers rather, not the hands. Let me just go ahead and put that back on. Yes, my background's all destroyed from it falling backwards. And then just go ahead and plug those together. Got the one peg right here, and then the hole right there. Together. And then you're going to want to have the hands like this, so the fingers, backs of the fingers are facing down like that on the vehicle, and have thumbs straight. Make sure these are open like that. And then these two pegs right here plug into those holes on the blue part. Blue part doesn't have very many pegs and holes like the arms do for the other mode, so it'll be very easy to tell which one's which. Alright, just go ahead and set that one there, and you can take the legs and just pop them back into those pegs right there. Open that part of the trailer side, and then where you can rotate it right there, and then bring it around like we did before, just opposite. And then fold these back underneath so they're not in the way, and then bring the gates back down, and then bring those pegs like this so you can peg all that together. So that's all in place, and then just go ahead and leave those out so that you can get the two halves together. Now because let me move this down. Now because of the way this fits in here, the hands, the fingers have to go over top of those little feet looking things. It all just kind of fits in right there. Let's get those over, and then you'll want to close this down on the... Whoa! Again, be careful, this guy likes to come apart. Very few pegs actually keep this guy very solid. It's very well done. But that hole and that hole from these two pegs right here, clamp it down, and that is what holds the whole thing together. And now you can just unpeg these wing parts right here so that they can fold to the back. And now you have Ultra Magnus back into his car carrier mode. Now I guess you could probably put some Voyagers up at the top here and bigger Deluxes and everything, but definitely want to get smaller ones on the inside there. Unless you fold that up and you have something tall here. I don't know, could be a rocket platform. Rockets could shoot out from here. That kind of reminds me of another Ultra Magnus I don't have. But yeah, this guy is quite versatile. He's lots of fun. I definitely recommend him. He's an essential part to anybody's collection, I think, especially if anybody's collecting r.i.d. stuff, Ultra Magnus stuff. I guess it would be a good price for him, is maybe around 40 or 50. If you can go lower, that'd be awesome, but that's probably about the price he will be running. I haven't looked, because, well, I already have him. And that is going to be it for Ultra Magnus. Stay tuned for this week's Primetime Thursday and for next week's Retro Monday here on Geek Central Station and on the Home Atomics Network. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Very important. And thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.
Watch the paint.
Home Atomics!